have to fight for him, not worry about the other side. And by the way, women are for that more than anybody would understand.
That was the president just moments ago speaking at a rally in Missouri, addressing the chaos around the Brett Kavanaugh confirmation. And there is, in fact, a lot of it. The main debate is over timing of the next Kavanaugh hearing. Here are the basic facts about it. According to the schedule most of us assumed was real 2 weeks ago, the Senate should have already voted on the nomination by now, and Kavanaugh almost certainly would have been confirmed. He had the numbers. And then the wrinkle. Democrats leaked the name of Christine Ford to the press. Ford alleges that sometime back in high school, about 36 years ago, Kavanaugh jumped on her at a party and groped her over her clothes. She's provided very few details, including when and where it allegedly happened. Kavanaugh has denied the story entirely, and so has the other person Ford said was present, a man named Mark Judge. That's pretty much what we know. In order to know more, we're going to need to hear from Christine Ford. Both sides once agreed on that because it's obvious she should have a chance to speak. Everyone thought that was a good idea. It was a consensus view. Republicans in the Senate asked Ford to testify this week. She refused. They offered to send a staffer to her house in California to take her testimony privately, and she refused that too. Finally, they asked her to testify this coming Monday. She says she won't, but she will not explain why she won't. Ford's lawyers are now saying she's willing to explain herself in the Senate next Thursday. Thursday is a significant date in this story. Because of Senate rules, which are complex, if Ford testifies next Thursday, the vote on Kavanaugh will be pushed back at least another week. In this environment, that very likely means forever. His nomination will be over. So will any Trump nomination to the court. There isn't time before the midterms for the White House to introduce and vet a new candidate. Democrats will have prevented the administration from filling this vacancy. We'll have just 8 justices for the foreseeable future, and probably until there's another Democratic president. Now, you may have voted for Trump in the hope he would put reasonable people on the Supreme Court, but tough. If this testimony is delayed until Thursday, that's likely not going to happen. So that's what's at stake over this timing question. What's amazing is that almost nobody on television is telling you that. They're still pretending this is all a matter of protecting Christine Ford's feelings or civil rights or something to that effect. Watch.
It's an incredibly sensitive, incredibly emotional decision to make, and for people to be sort of casting doubt on the timing of this, or to be sort of rendering judgment on how she proceeded, I think is probably pretty inappropriate.
Now, we mean no disrespect to Christine Ford here, and we have shown her none. The show has given her every benefit of every doubt. We have assumed, and we still assume, she believes everything she has said. But this is absurd. Whether she intended to be or not, Ford is now at the center of a partisan effort that has nothing to do with sexual abuse or protecting women, or the details, for that matter, of a high school party close to 40 years ago. This is about political power and how it is apportioned in Washington. In the process of trying to regain that power, one party is corroding our legal norms and threatening our system of impartial justice. In our system, individuals do not get to dictate the terms of investigations. You can't just say you don't feel like participating. Why don't you try that? Try it the next time you get someone for jury duty or told to appear on small claims court. Blow off a speeding ticket and see what happens. You can't do that because the Justice Department isn't just about you. It's about all of us. In this case, Brett Kavanaugh could sit on the court that shapes the lives of 330 million other people. And so the rest of us have a right to know exactly what Christine Ford is alleging here. Now, the operatives posing as her defenders claim that Ford was so traumatized by an event that supposedly happened in 1982 that rules cannot apply to her. That's many things. It's also patronizing. Democrats are treating a middle-aged woman like a child. Ford is not a child. She's an adult. She has a family, an advanced degree, a high-level job. She has accused a public figure of a sex crime, a felony, and she's done it in vague terms. She's now part of an effort to destroy that public figure's life, wittingly or not. She needs to explain herself or allow the country to move on. Now, if there's one good thing about this spectacle, it's that it has drawn the usual cave dwellers from their holes and forced them to expose themselves in the light of day as the buffoons they are. For example, here's Joe Biden explaining why Ford cannot be asked to explain her own allegations. Keep in mind that Biden was thinking about running for president next year. Hard to see that happening after this. Watch.
It's important that people understand, and I think people do now, understand how hard it is to come forward. And I always say to men, they say, why it's so hard? How about if you've been abused? You see the movie Deliverance? How about if you were the guy strapped to the tree? Would you come forward? Would you want to relive that? I'm serious. I'm deadly earnest.